Don't mind your business, mind my podcast, Mind Elixir. Hi, I'm Ayoka. If you already know me and you've already listened to my episodes, then let this episode serve as a reintroduction as well as an update for what's in store for season 2, coming soon. I am a sophomore in high school. I was born and raised in Texas. And a little bit about me, a few facts. I find joy in the little things and hobbies and stuff like that, various hobbies in life, such as crocheting, baking, which I've been really into for some reason this year, and also reading science fiction and fantasy books, which I love so much. With this podcast, I'm aiming to inspire and help others while sharing my personal experiences, and I hope to become the catalyst for positive change in the world. Most likely going on to become an anesthesiologist or something in the medical field, which I haven't quite figured out yet, but I do really like biology and medical related stuff. My ethnicity/race is Yoruba Nigerian and African American, so all my black people tap in. Duh. I was born on November 15th because why not? I don't know. I just like having a birthday then. I feel like it's a perfect time to have a birthday or be born. And of course, the question everybody always asks and wants to know is, why did you start this podcast? For me, basically, while I was cooped up in the house due to quarantine, about 2 years ago, I believe, during my freshman year of high school, I discovered the world of podcasting. However, most of them were a bit boring to me. They were just middle-aged men talking, aka there was a severe lack in selection of podcasts for teens. And then inspiration struck, and thus Mind Elixir podcast was born. Now I've discovered a whole entire community of other teen podcasters as well. So that's really cool to just know that there's all these other teen podcasters like me too. And as we can see, I have been a bit or a lot inconsistent with the podcast, and that is like a huge understatement. I basically skipped around 2 to 3 months of uploading episodes, and while I did occasionally upload Instagram stuff, I haven't really been uploading episodes that often. The reason I haven't been uploading is because I realized that I basically just lost my purpose with this podcast. Yeah, of course, this podcast is about passion, but it also takes purpose and discipline to keep it going, to be consistent. Because motivation is the spark. It's what gets you started on your passion. It's what got me started on the podcast. It's what got me all excited about it. It's what got me researching and looking up how to start a podcast all those 2 years ago and doing all of that. But behind the motivation, it's also important to have the discipline to be consistent and to follow through with your passion. Discipline is what keeps you going even when the going gets tough and you realize it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It's not going to be easy all the way through. And I just I definitely did have it in the beginning because I was going strong with those episodes every single week. I don't even know how I did that. But then I lost it. Maybe not even just lost it, but I'm saying it like I lost a key. Oops, I lost my keys. No, I just let it go. But now I've realized is that discipline and consistency that comes with motivation for your passion, that is the key. And that's what I've rediscovered that basically. And that's why I want to revamp and start doing my podcast, more of it, continue with it. Consistency is waking up in the morning, and even if you don't have the motivation to work out, work on your business, write for your blog, or do your podcast like I have, consistency is about waking up and still doing that even when you don't want to. And I realize now that without me elaborating on this too much, because I think I definitely want to do an episode on this just so I can really expand on this idea of consistency and motivation and how they're connected and stuff like that, which I'm actually planning right now. But yeah, I hope that doesn't sound too much like toxic productivity, but that's just my thoughts. And essentially what I was saying was that I lost my purpose. I was too dependent on just motivation rather than consistency with my podcast. And I thought that motivation would just keep me going, when in reality, that is definitely not what happened. But now we're ready, and I'm back and ready for season 2. And speaking of season 2, let's talk about what's in store for season 2. For this next season, you can check out my trailer. I uploaded a new one of that, and I just updated that so that it could be fresh or whatever, as well as I changed my podcast description to sound better. And I just want to make sure that I'm making impactful and uplifting content, not only on this podcast, but also on Instagram, informational, like content with a purpose, so that I'm able to share my knowledge and the lessons learned with you, aka my audience. Not only just that, but I just want to talk about the lessons I've learned, maybe stuff about the intersection of race and gender, book reviews, any wide variety of topics. And this whole podcasting thing, it's really an experience for me as well, because I'm so excited for it, and I hope you are as well for this new season. And for the episode schedule, I know I had like a kind of wonky schedule last time we checked. I used to do it on Wednesdays, but now I've decided that I want to do new episodes every first and third Fridays of the month. And this is subject to change, so like don't quote me on it or anything like that. But most likely the first and third Fridays of the month, I will let you know if that changes. And I would also like to occasionally, maybe possibly if I have time, do this sort of monthly wrap up or monthly reflection episodes on the last Friday of the month, if I can. So yeah. Also, I may be getting new cover art, which I'm trying to design. Let's hope that turns out well. And I'll have a link to the playlist of all my favorite episodes from season 1, so you can go check that out as soon as you're done with this. And yeah, that's all for this mini episode / season 2 preview. I have all my social media links and all of that in the description as usual, along with my email and more, and I will have a transcribed version of this if you want to read that. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for season 2 of Mind Elixir podcast.